Fundamental throw number 3. We've looked at the concept of a leg trip, Hayatoshi body drop, where you use the ankle as a fulcrum point. Then we looked at hip throws, where you're going to come in, get your weight lower than the other person's, lift them on your legs, right onto your hips, and then dump them over you. Another one that's going to come in very useful for us in law enforcement, because it's not so much a throw as it is simply a takedown. Many of you that have had wrestling understand how to execute this particular group of throws. They're Gari throws in judo. That means reaping throws. The idea comes from the leg taking the configuration of a sickle as you reap the other guy's leg out from under it. You have sweeps where you're simply going to sweep somebody's leg out from under them. You can step on the other person's foot, or in other ways immobilize it and pull them over their own foot. There are all kinds of different ways to accomplish leg throws. This section here is going to be about sickle throws or reaping throws. You could call them leg sweeps. There's any number of terms for this kind of throw. But you want to keep in mind that all of these throws we're going to talk about right now have to do with your leg moving like a sickle. This, I'm going to use my entire leg as part of these throws. You're either going to attack with the outside of the leg or the inside of the leg. So if I'm reaching around, attacking somebody with them to my right, it would be an O Sotogari, for instance. If I'm attacking from the outside in, I'm using the same basic configuration of the leg, but instead of reaping around and out, I'm reaping out to in. It's the same motion, though, with my leg slightly bent, looking quite a bit like a sickle. So I can attack with the outside of my leg, I can attack with the inside of the leg, and if you think about it, I can attack from the outside of Brian's legs, or I can attack to the inside. Now, as you watch, O Sotogari, or major outer reap, my leg's going to take the same configuration, but I'm going to reach around and hit Brian's leg from behind with my whole leg. If I'm going to attack with this side of my leg from the inside of his legs, it'll look like this. But it's exactly the same kind of a throw. I'm attacking with the outside of my leg, and I can either attack to this outside of Brian's leg, or I can attack to the inside of his leg. But either way, this is the motion that I'm accomplishing with. The minor throws, the ko, uchi, ko, sotogaris in judo, are accomplished with the inner portion of the leg. I can attack the inside of Brian's leg with the inside of mine. Same basic reaping motion, but I'm attacking now with the inside of my leg. Or I can attack to the outside of Brian's leg with the inside of my leg. Same basic reaping throw. Now, try to get away from terminology and just understand that I can go with this leg around the outside, into the middle, other leg, or around to the outside with the same leg. It doesn't have to be thought about in terms of terminology. It's just, I'm going to do this on one of Brian's legs, whichever one is the most convenient at the time. As I get used to the way this works, I'm going to notice a little bit of subtlety about balance. It's kuzushi in judo, is the principle of getting your opponent off balance before you try to execute a throw. If Brian has no weight on his right leg, When I come through to reap, all he has to do is move the leg forward and I have no throw. Nothing happens. If he has all of his weight on that leg and I try to reap, I'm stuck just kicking a leg and nothing happens. The subtleties of these throws have to do with shifting weight in the process. If Brian's weight is shifted to that leg, as I come in to reap and I start to pull him toward me as the leg is reaped, then he goes down under my control. I determine how hard he hits the ground. So as you work out with your partners, you're going to notice there's a certain point where the balance breaks that these particular throws become most effective. We'll go through a demonstration of some of the possibilities in a minute. Let's review. With one leg, you're going to go to the outside, then to the inside, inside, outside. Then you're going to come back, do the same basic drill, outside, inside, inside, then around to the outside. And that's not a bad combination for a real close tie-up in a little living room or a little kitchen where you don't have a lot of room to do any fancy throws. When you get into a nice tie-up where somebody's got you in a bear hug and you've got them by the head and the hair and all that kind of thing that happens in a domestic dispute, you're going to have your body underneath them, simply lifting and getting this leg out from under them and turning and bringing them to the ground is all you really need to do. And we'll show you some more in a minute when we do just some scenario type throws. And we'll of course have some formulas that will use these throws in them. For now, just understand, a reaping throw is the leg is in this kind of position. You're using the entire leg, and you can attack all of his legs with exactly the same kind of motion, just depending on which leg is available. Don't get hung up on terminology. Just understand the principle. You're going to reap one of his legs out from under him. There's your fundamentals on these throws. Another variation besides the oh-so-so gari, where you're going to the outside, trapping the leg, making sure the shoulder is pushing toward the leg you're going to take out. Another variation on that is ko-uchi gari, which is the inside of my leg attacking between Brian's legs. Again, I'm taking this leg out, so this shoulder wants to be what I push back. It doesn't matter how I do it. I can reach clear around here, and as I pull the leg back, I get the right torque to put him down. The idea is to get a diagonal action happening on these throws so the person goes down off of the leg that you take out from under. It's just like kicking a leg out from under a chair. We're in a close tie-up situation. I want to step in deep with my hips higher than his, and I want to be moving behind his center of gravity. As I do that, I want to reap this leg out, at the same time push this shoulder diagonally across and drop the knee in right over top of his hips. I don't want Brian coming into half guard, which controls my leg and eliminates the possibility that I can mount him. So as we go through the fundamentals of these throws, pay attention to the outcome where my body position is. Remember, I want to be at an advantage when I complete this throw. So close tie up, I step through, bring my hips in, reach around. I'm going to make sure this part of his body comes down. Boom, drop the knee in on top of his thigh or on his hips. Now I'm in a dominant position in the fight. Another option on this is, grab the shirt again. I'm going to step in deep, bring my chest up next to his, reach in and reap with the outer side of this other leg. Now as I pull this leg down, I want this shoulder to go backward, and I want to come over and mount as I bring him down.
I'll show you that from the other side in a second. Go and grab the shirt. I'm going to step in using my weight, not my strength, to shift Brian's weight backwards. His weight is now off this leg in the back. I'm going to push this shoulder backward as I reach that leg. But again, I want to make sure I come up with my knee going over his hip so that I come up in full mount. From the other side on that, we get a tie up here. I'm going to reach through, bring my hips in, reap to the outside, push back on this shoulder, but I want to bring my knees over the top as we come down. I do not want to wind up with Brian grapevining my leg and being able to control my hips and keep me from getting in mount. If he's stronger and heavier than me, this position will definitely lose control in very few seconds. Big, strong guys can get out of this. You can try to apply the pressure to bring the knee out, but if you're dealing with somebody who's really strong, it can take a long time to do that. So you want to concentrate on the throw itself. Grab with your left hand here. As I come in for this throw using my weight, throwing this leg in here, pushing this shoulder back, and then bringing my leg over the top. So I'm sure to come up and mount, at which point I've got my joint locks, I've got my rollovers, whatever it takes to make sure this man isn't going to be a problem to me anymore. Last variation on this, we went O Sotogari, which is outer reap. We went Ko Uchigari, which is an inner reap with the inside of my leg. We went O Uchigari, which is an inner reap between his legs, but using the outside of my leg. The only one we have left is Ko Sotogari. Let's go with a bear hug or tie up again. Ko Sotogari is the inside of my leg attacking from outside of his leg. Again, if I'm going to take this leg, I want this shoulder headed for the ground as I do. So as I come into this, I want to step deep, raise my weight up, hook this leg, and as I reach, drop this shoulder. Again, the knee comes over the outside so that I wind up in mount instead of half guard. Let's try it again just so you see it from this side. Let's go from a lapel grab. I'm going to step in deep from this side. I'm going to reap this leg out from under him as I push down on the shoulder, and then I'm going to bring my knee over the top. One more from the other side. Grabs here. Step in deep. Bring this from the outside. Push down, drop the knee over the top. I always want to be sure I come up and mount when I'm executing these inner reaping throws especially. There's your fundamentals on reaping throws. Inner, outer side of the leg, attacking either between his legs or outside. Just work through the drills so you're going clear around 1, 2, 3, 4, understanding where the position of your legs will be, and make sure your hips are under you and moving back of your opponent's center of gravity.